got some problems.
Oh, shit. How do you think they're gonna react when we tell them they can't leave? Look, I know this sounds crazy, but none of you are safe here.
Whoa, what the hell is she talking about? We are all in this thing together.
There are things around here that walk and talk just like us until they walk up to you and rip your guts out. There is no way out.
Oh, thank God we heard the screaming.
You picked a bad spot.
I'm seeing a lot of people pushed to their edge. You ever wonder if maybe that's the point?
What is up? What is going on? Welcome back. We are here for another episode of a From video stream, What We Missed. Brian will be in here shortly, but until then, I'm just going to hold it down. Let me just make sure my better. There we go. That's better. Yeah. So what's popping, people? Welcome back. Welcome back. We are here for another episode of From, as I said earlier, season 2, episode 1. And man, to be honest with you, there were some things in this episode. I can definitely see there's a lot of hints and stuff in this episode. A few things that I'm not 100% sure about, but we're definitely going to talk about that and see if we can figure out a few things. I know a lot of people that come into the chat usually, have some good insights and theories about some of the stuff that we've seen. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see if we can figure some stuff in this episode. As I mentioned, Brian will be in here pretty soon. He said it should be about maybe 10 minutes later. So it's all good. We're going to do what we do over here anyways. And for all of you guys that still aren't watching From, think you need to go back and watch it. You have enough times to catch up until season 4 pops on. So that's definitely something I think y'all should do. I'm actually enjoying going back and talking about some of these episodes. I think past couple of weeks we've come up with some absolutely fire theories. I don't really know if any of those theories will be true or not, but I'm pretty sure we probably nailed some on the head. I did predict time travel, which was something that just came out of my head while I was watching Lost. So that's interesting. So I'm pretty sure some of the other predictions we have are definitely going to come through. Like, for example, maybe the man in yellow and the boy in white being related in some sort of way. I really believe that's a theory that might be true. Fromville not ending in a happy manner is another theory that I think would come through, and then we talk about all the biblical stuff and Garden of Eden and all of that, and Julie being a story walker and she being, I think the one theory that we're really going to get right is that she was the one that went back in time and helped Victor and helped everybody, well, mostly Victor, but go back in time and had something to do with a lot of the events we've seen already. I really think that's going to be something that's going to come through. It's definitely going to be interesting to see that. And I hope that one's right. You know what I mean? I hope that one's right. That's a theory that we all came up with. Maybe Eloise being still alive. That's definitely something that I think is a possibility as well. So, with that being said, I really do hope some of the theories come in. I can't wait for season 4. It's taking too long to come now, but hopefully we get some information about maybe they started filming or something like that already. So definitely be interested. I think they'll start in summertime because I know they do it in Nova Scotia, and I'm pretty sure there's snow up there right now. So we still got a long way to go, but I'm guessing they're at least writing the season. So that's going to be something to definitely take care of. Other than that, man, I'm just trying to stall some time till my homie gets up in here. But I'll just definitely go through some of the things that I thought really quick, because they get a lot of things that I think are very interesting, and I would definitely like to get Brian's take on them. But most of the stuff that I'm thinking about is when Tabitha is in the tunnel, right? When she's in the, and we see a lot of certain things in there. So we see the bike and we see a wheelchair. And now I know they said that Victor was like, oh, well, they like to take things from people, right? But who the hell was in there with a wheelchair? You know, so that's definitely going to be something interesting to figure out. I mean, the episode basically starts off with, so it starts off with the storm, right? And Boyd is ringing the bell. Now, I don't know if he was dreaming at this point or because this is the storm that pretty much destroyed the bell tower. And then we see him in the cave. And I was wondering, like I put the question in there, are we looking at the past or are we looking at the future, right? Now, to someone's perspective, so to Boyd's perspective right now, he's in the present, right? Julie comes in there, gives him the rope. Julie's coming from the future. The guy chained up there, is he from the past, right? So you have three variations. You have present, future, and past all in this one spot. And I think that's very telling for what's going to happen next. It's a very interesting thought, right? Because you can have someone who's actually just like experiencing whatever it is for the first time. Well, I guess you would say they're all experiencing it for the first time, but it would be different points in time. So what does that mean? You know what I mean? If you really think on it, if you have three different points in time, then there's so much things that, you know, if Julie is a star walker, that she can do, right? Which would be very interesting to see if she can actually really affect something that happened, or is she just going to be able to manipulate things, right? Because we already know that Ethan said that, you know, as a story walker, she can go back and she can see things, but she can't affect them. And after watching a few things in this episode, I'm wondering if he's right on that, or maybe Julie can affect them. Because if she can, then that means she can save Jim from dying, you know. And are we going to see, even though she gets to that point in season 3 where she sees her father die, are we going to see her attempt to get back to that point or right before that point, or is she going to keep trying to go over and over again? I don't know. Something interesting to see. But then you would have the Julie that failed, and then another Julie coming in earlier than that. I don't know. It's weird. I'm more or less inclined to think that there's a possibility that she can't change anything and she can just pretty much manipulate things and help things from happening, because it gets really complicated if it gets to the point where, you know, she can affect things. So if you can go back in time and you can actually stop the Akui kids from happening, then you can stop this whole event from even taking place. I don't know if they're going to go that way. I mean, at the end of the day, it would be a way to bring back people who died, right, for the final thing. But I mean, if you really look at or listen to the intro song, it's, you know, whatever happens, happens. What will be, will be. So it's hard for me to actually go and think that, you know what, I think Julie can actually change things from happening. I don't see that happening. I really don't. I remember we talked about this earlier where we were saying how there were 14 people that died in the colony house when they had the attack, and then there were 14 people on the bus. I actually believe there was more than 14 people on this bus, because when Donna does her little gun thing, there's a few people that end up running off, and some of those people that run off actually die. So maybe that's why they died, because there has to be only 14 people that came in, and there's too many. I don't know. Something to definitely think about. Like, does there have to be a certain amount of people in this town, or can there be more than one? And now we get Tilly dancing up here, and I always said she was sus. She ended up dying, so I'm not exactly sure. I still think she's sus. I still think there's going to be something more to Tilly's story. You know what I mean? I have a feeling. Oh, so nah, that wouldn't work. I was thinking, what if Tilly is the man in yellow's wife? But I'm like, how would that work? Right? See, I still don't 100% know. I'm not 100% sure about the origins of the man in yellow. Because at the end of the day, did the man in yellow come from the original timeline? Or is he someone that came after because of the clothes he wears? Let me just go back while Brian's not here before I get into more of this episode. Let me just go back to what I'm talking about. No, I have to get to the right season, unfortunately. Season 3. Go to the last episode. Go right to the end where we see the man in yellow. I mean, so his undershirt looks like it could be dated from undershirt looks like it could be dated from, like, original timeline, but it's the jacket that he has. Did he get this jacket from another reincarnation, which would mean this isn't the first time he's come out, right? Maybe he takes something from the people that he kills. Maybe that jacket is from a previous. Well, I don't think Jim was reincarnated from anybody, but I also think that Jim was probably supposed to be there, right? So, like I said, Henry ended up not going there. That's why he survived, and then Jim ended up going there and dying. So, what if there was a previous reincarnation where the so-called Jim was there and he killed him, and that's the jacket? I don't know. It's just, I think they did something here where Brian's here. What up, Brian? What's going on, brother? Yeah, you're muted. Yeah, he's gonna fix his mic. So, like I was saying, is when I look at this, I'm thinking his shirt looks dated, but the jacket looks updated. Go ahead. I think I hear you. I heard something.
Sorry about that.
Oh, there you go. Good to go. What's up, brother?
I would have been here earlier, guys, but I tell you, 15 minutes. Chicago traffic's the worst.
Don't worry about it. I was just talking about certain things and, going through something. But I was looking at this because I was talking about the man in yellow, right?
Mm-hmm.
I went back and I was like, what if Tilly, and then I said it probably don't make sense, but what if Tilly is the man in yellow's husband? Wife.
The more I watched this episodes past the season 2, episode 1, Clara is real suspect. More and more see her, like everything she said, was really, really weird. And then she's bothering Jade at the end. I mean, asking the question, she's like, look, I got one paper left. I want to smoke this. And she's like, almost like she was intentionally kind of, distracting him. But there's a lot of stuff from the beginning of this episode that was, interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That's why I came over to the man in yellow, because I was thinking about Tilly dancing in the rain. She looked like she was happy to be there. You know what I mean?
She was always trying to get there. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
I said, even though she died, it's still kind of suspect the way she was dancing in the rain, and she seemed like she was really happy to be there, So I don't know. I don't know. It would be weird to make it, but the reason why I said that is because so the man in yellow, he's still not dated, right? We still don't know when the man in yellow came from. Is it an original timeline or did he actually come from um later on? But when I looked at his shirt, his t-shirt looked like it came from the original timeline, but the jacket looks like it came later. So I think
Well,
they did that on purpose to throw
and
us
then
off.
there you saw all the clothes, all the stuff that was down in the cave. He could take it from any time, but I still think that the man in yellow is the boy that at the beginning of the song that was a boy, had a father, did all those other things. I think it has that whole series of things kind of happened. That's who he is. And he's probably
Yeah.
from a timeline that kind of syncs up with that.
No, I agree with you 100%. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to figure out. I want to know his origins. That's what I'm trying to get,
This is interesting, even in here. So Boyd is in the well, whatever, and he has flashes of like one. He has one of Ellis. Talk about Dad. It's too dark to get for the boat, but then he also has that vision of him ringing the bell. Right, he's ringing the bell, and then all of a sudden his hand starts to shake, and you see the Parkinson's kind of come through. My question is was that from Vil giving him the tremors back? Because he didn't have tremors beforehand. Once he was there, I think they gave him the tremors in order to slow him down.
That's a good point. I never thought about that. But one thing I did think about is, right, so when we're getting this situation here, because I put it there, are we in the past and the future? But I'm like, if you look at it at a certain point of view, right? So Boyd's point of view, he's in the present. Julie comes there, she's in the future, from the future. Yep. So is that guy that's in there from the past?
He could be, but he also knew the gun. He knew an automatic weapon. So that means he had to be from a time that kind of understood that, at least. Because if someone was from World War I or even the Civil War, they wouldn't see the gun and know what the hell it was. It was like, what type of gun? What type of contraction is that? So like, because we know he understood. Oh, you have a gun. That's good. That's gonna make this easier. Then you know that he has to be from at least 1940, 1950 at the least.
But okay, so my thing is either or, right? So we have three different times in this like scene going on, right? We have future, past, and present
at the same time.
Scene this going on at the same time. So I was thinking maybe Ethan is wrong. Maybe Julie can actually affect the future, or past events.
If it already happened, if she already did it,
right?
So I guess it depends on your perception of what time it is.
Yes. Yeah.
So someone in that point sees it as she's affecting the present or the past, but someone who's beyond it realizes it already happened that way. So she really didn't affect it. It's that time travel kind of weird thing.
Right. Because from everyone's perspective, like, so from Julie's perspective, she's present, right? Boyd is past. And then this other guy would be like, I guess, even.
It could be the future, because he could be the future, because it could be any of the people that we already know who they are. Hey, please kill me. Is it Randall? Hey, please kill me. Is it Jade? Is it, any of these people?
That's what I'm saying. So if you really think on it, are we in the past or are we in the future in this scene?
That's a good question, because if it's someone from his timeline, because he didn't say Boyd. So that makes you think that he's not from Boyd's.
He don't know
timeline.
Boyd. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
What if we find out that that's Christopher?
Ooh.
And we're all thinking about it in a different frame of mind. Well, if Christopher didn't do what he was supposed to do and they chained him up because of it,
that would be interesting.
That'd be Martin, right?
Yeah. And you see him there. Hold on, let me see if I can get a better view of him. And I mean, it would be hard because especially like so he's lost a lot of weight, so he's probably been there for a very long time
Mm-hmm.
chained up there, right? So it could be Christopher who lost weight, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
But no, hold on. So it's either someone that knows Julie, or Julie wouldn't be the first time
This is not the
she
first
went
time
there.
Julie did this.
It's not the first time she met him.
Yep.
Right. So that would mean she would probably have went back to another time. Maybe she met him before he gets chained up.
Or what if it I hate this a little bit more, but what if you remember the monster at the beginning? Say, Julie, don't you remember me? Don't you recognize me?
Yeah.
What if he is actually Martin? Because then we don't know his name.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe and we know what did Ethan say? He said in the quest, it gets worse before it gets better, or it gets darker before it gets better. That's how you know you're at the end, because it's getting worse and worse.
Absolutely.
What's up, Carla?
How you doing?
If that's the case, if it's towards the end, what does that really mean? That means that they've already passed all this other stuff, and then possibly, I don't know how that goes to the timeline, but Ethan's saying that it gets worse before it's better. This is what we're going to get going forward. It's going to get worse and worse and worse and worse to a point where we're like, how can it get any worse? And that's how we'll know we're going downhill. We're getting towards the end.
Absolutely. You're talking about this scene where he's talking to Jade in the house. Yeah, he's talking to Jade and he's telling Jade it's a quest, right?
Yeah.
And so I think there's a hint there too as well. Like I said, that Ethan, I wouldn't say it's his mind. I don't want to say all of this stuff is from his mind, but it's definitely could be like manifestations from his fears and stuff like that, where he knows what's going on. I don't know. It's weird. What do you think?
Now, I think it definitely has something to do with it, because everything that someone fears. How about this? Maybe it's anytime someone's happy, they do whatever it takes to take the happiness away.
Yeah.
So what really happened? So about Jim, they started their whole family, Jim, Julie, Tabitha, Ethan, they started to be happy there, right? So what did they have to do? They had to separate the family. They had to tear them apart. Okay. Well, Kenny was really happy, right? All of a sudden, they decide, okay, well, we're going to go ahead and we're going to bring Marielle here. Christy was like, hey, I think I met this real good guy. I really like him so much. He's so awesome. I think I'm gonna go to Iceland with him.
And then
tear him apart again. So they're gonna. Why? There's no other reason for Marielle to be there, except to hurt Kenny.
Actually, Boyd and his wife, right? Boyd was there happy, and then his wife did what she did, and then we got the end of last season where Ellis was happy, and then some shit happened to Fatima, right?
So they get married and all this stuff, and see the happiness, and they really are together. Snatch that happiness away. Do whatever it takes to take that happiness away.
Well, I always said that it's like from gives you hope and then takes it from you, right? And I think that's what the monsters feed on, right? They want you to have hope. They want you to feel like, safe, secure, everything is fine, because Kenny already tells us that the amulets are just a bandage, right? You know what I mean? So that's pretty much to say, oh yeah, here you guys have hope. Maybe you can survive. And then now the man in yellow comes, and I think he is going to take away a lot of that hope.
I mean, Donna talks about this. She's like, I know this is a terrible place. I know it's from, I understand all this stuff. But honestly, you think it was just, she said, I know you think we're just having sex and doing drugs. But what really is happening, we are enjoying it. We were living life. We had a happy existence for these months here in Colony House. So what do? They destroy Colony House. The monsters come through Colony House. Even when they try to put the antenna on, they destroy that. They destroy Colony multiple times, because if that's what happiness is, they got to destroy it.
Absolutely. And it's funny too, because everybody that had some kind of joy ended up losing it. You know what I mean? you know, and it even goes down to the simp dude, right? The simp dude, he thought he was having joy. He's like, "Hey, I got this girl," and then boom, she kills him, right?
Yep.
Then we got this guy who's not allowed
What about
to come to the
Trudy?
barbecue.
Trudy finally got a connection with Fatima.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
She gives her that sweater, the sweater she's been after all this time. She gets some happiness and she dies.
Yep. And then we have this guy over here, right? Because
Oh
at one point, he was kind of happy the time when he was smoking the weed with Julie and everything, and then he got that camera and started doing stupid-ish.
But he also saw the seizure as soon as he gets there, so you know that he's affected by it from. And they say there's certain people that are affected more by from. And Sarah says it's us. We're one of those people that just, no matter what, it affects us more.
Absolutely,
100%.
And it's funny too, right? Because anybody who's had a seizure, I think that they are the ones that are affected the most from Fromville, right? They probably get there and can't deal with the situation, or it has something to do. I think we'll definitely find out why people have seizures when they first reach Fromville or in Fromville, like why that affects them and not everybody else, you know?
There has to be some type of connection with them. They're either high moral fiber, so From wants to tear them apart, or they had real trauma in their life, and it's easier for them to affect them.
Yeah, I think that's the latter part, is that it's easier for them to affect them when they had their seizures. You know what I mean?
Well, they have real trauma. They had real trauma in their so you know, even so Julie had seizure, but she had real trauma. But, you know, when losing her brother, her parents, doing all the stuff that they're doing, that's real trauma. I mean, the same thing goes for Randall. All the stuff that he's been going through. He was in the army or navy, whatever it was. He's in armed forces. He saw people die. He's a dick because of all the things he's seen. Real trauma, right? Marielle, you know, she lost her fiance. She went back into drugs. You had to go to rehab. She's trying to go back to rehab. Real trauma, easy to affect. Sarah, we think that she was getting beat by whoever her boyfriend was, and her brother had to save her.
Absolutely,
real trauma.
Randall was a dick when he came in, which probably shows that there's some kind of trauma that he had in his life to make him like that. You know what I mean? So I believe he was definitely affected with some trauma too. What would Julie's excuse? Because she was the one that got there.
Her Thomas, and then her parents split up before her eyes. She lost. You know, her mother totally just kind of ignored her. She couldn't deal with her anymore. So she lost in probably the most important time, 15, 16 years old. This is where the girls need their mothers. And her mother just is often on her own. And her father's trying to hold it together. She's experienced real trauma.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree with that 100%. There's one scene that I seen here where I was like, oh, this is interesting. I gotta find out what it is. Because when Tabitha and Victor are in the tunnel, they see a suitcase. Right.
Yes.
Right. Here it is. Coming.
And it has that wedding dress in it.
It has the wedding dress in it. What do you think that was?
Honestly, I think it's probably not Tabitha's, but one of her past lives' wedding dress. Maybe it's even what's his name, Henry, and what's her
Miranda?
Her past life, Miranda. Maybe it's Henry and Miranda's wedding dress.
So the reason why I asked that is because we get a close view when she opens it up, and there's a New York sticker on there, and it also says 1964. I didn't notice that.
Which would be right around the town with Miranda and Henry and all that stuff. Maybe she took, when she left him and she took the kids, maybe she took her wedding dress. And she didn't know, Tabitha couldn't put it together. Something about this familiar. You know, but maybe that's what it is.
No, that's interesting. Very interesting. Because that's definitely from the reincarnation before, right? if it's 1964, I'm pretty sure that's from the reincarnation before. So it could be Miranda's. It
I mean,
definitely could
age
be.
is right? Because I mean, you think about how old Victor is and what's going on. That age is probably right.
And then she opens it up and it's a wedding dress. And I still think that's one of the things that we haven't, like, it's like brought up, and then we see this scene and there's a reason for it. You know what
In
I
one
mean?
ear and out the other. We don't put it back
Yes.
together, but realize that that's probably a very important scene.
Absolutely, 100%. It's interesting. I'd like to go back to when we get there, or if we do it again, in season 3 when she's in Miranda's house. If we can see anything that kind of, you know what I mean?
If we just see their wedding photo, and see if that wedding photo is any similar to this dress that we're looking at.
That would be interesting. Ooh, that would be interesting. You know, because it's funny that she found it, right? She was the one that went down there and found that suitcase. What else did you think about this episode? What else did you find?
I was trying to tell you, Clara is just was weird that all the stuff is happening to her, and she's almost trying to play like as a distraction to all the other stuff that's happening.
No, I agree with you. I just don't want to call nobody else suspect anymore, because we've seen what happened to Tilly, right? Like, I was dead set on Tilly being very suspect.
And she got stabbed.
Right. And I still think we may get some more with her, like going down the line. We may find out something, but it's a possibility where she could have just been like that. You know what I mean? And there's nothing to her really. So
it could be, but the fact that she's not a orange shirt, things are happening. So right. So she's connected to Christy, right? She's connected to Jade during a time where the bus is coming. So Christy is important because Marielle's getting off the bus and she doesn't notice what's going on with the bus because she's dealing with her, right? Jade is important because he could be over there trying to figure out what's going on with Victor. She distracts him from this stuff.
Yeah, no, I feel you.
She's a weapon of mass distraction. That's what it just seems like. Somehow she's trying to throw things at you all the time. And Elgin, here's another thing. Elgin from the beginning is a problem.
Yeah, 100%. Go ahead.
From the beginning, like I'm looking at him, I'm like, wait. Well, first off, him jumping up and having that seizure, they're already in the town. Don't think like he's trying to save anyone. He didn't do anything positive. He jumps up and he's like, I had a dream. Oh my God. It's too late. They're already there.
Yeah, he's telling them, turn around, like we're already here. It's too late.
Why are you stopping the bus? Why did he want them to get out right then? I'm not sure any of the stuff, because once again, I think he's very easily motivated or easily told. He listened to suggestive. He's very easily suggestive, and he listened to them and he said, "Stop the bus," because we don't need to do any of this other stuff.
Something is definitely going to come out where we'll find out. Maybe he tells about his past, that he's had dreams about this place or something like that. You know what I mean? Because
he's an original person, possibly.
Yeah, definitely. 100%. Because the way he went off when he first got there, you know what I mean? And this part here that I got is when Jim is in here, right? And they're trying to save him. Julie, where you hear me? He says something to her, and I'm like, oh, that's some serious foreshadowing. I think I passed it, but he says, you gotta stay strong, or you gotta be strong. You know what I mean? So I'm like, ooh, that's interesting, because I think Julie's gonna remember that shit.
I think that this made me, even when I was watching it like the for the 15th time, I teared up again. Jim is trying his best to be a good father, being selfless about when he's dealing with his kids. And this is why I never really enjoyed Tabitha, right? Because she's always selfish with her kids. Like, she's bringing them along places that they don't need to be. Jim's always thinking, I'm trying to protect them, and she's always taking them into danger. Oh, he's calling them. He might be calling them, but he's being a good father, at least. I think Tabitha's the worst.
Yeah, 100%. The only thing is, now let's be real though, when these episodes were going on I think we were kind of like, Jim is being an ass, you know what I mean?
He's
But
annoying, but you know what? He's actually being a good father, though. When
when
you
you go
compare,
back to the context, yeah. Yeah.
even right now. I know I could die tonight, but I'm gonna tell my daughter, hey, you stay with Donna because I trust Donna. She's gonna protect you. I don't know what's going to happen, but I want you to go with Donna, be there. He tells her, hey, it's getting dark. I need you to go inside. It's okay. What are the monsters gonna do? Well, right now, if we get in the morning, we'll be okay. But right now, I need you to go inside. I care more about you than I care about everyone else.
You need to be strong. You know what I'm
You
saying?
need to be strong, no matter what. If I'm there or not, just that. Those are just key things all the time.
Agreed. Now we get to the tunnel part, and I know they say that, you know, they take things from people, but we see so much stuff in here, you know what I mean? And you can tell it's dated from different times, right? So what do you think?
No, I definitely think that they're stealing stuff, but why? And what's the connection? And I wonder if they see someone, and the reason why they kill them is because they feel a certain connection to that person, or is it their same soul?
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. Because maybe taking a possession from them is like they're keeping their part of their soul, right? So, for example, the reason why I say that is because when Sarah put that little thing that Kenny broke together from her brother, whatever thing that was important to her, that's when she started hearing voices again, right? So I'm beginning to think that it's possible that they take things from people because it keeps their souls in check. You know what I mean? We also seen, and I'm going to see if I could find this part too, because I think we actually seen where they were keeping the Akui kids locked up.
Oh, we saw that. Yeah, we definitely saw that in that little jail thing.
Yes.
Yeah. No.
Yes.
Where was it? That was in the.
I'm trying
I
to.
want to say this in the end, closer to the end.
Was it closer to the end? There.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Because you start seeing all these hints, all these hieroglyphics on the walls, and you see a hint of the Akui kids, like when they're coming out at you.
Yeah, and this.
And you saw the play.
Hold on, I'll just play it. Fuck it. So we just passed one part here. Hold on, let me bring it up. She's walking through here. So there's one there. There's one cage there in the corner, right? And then I think we see another one. Yeah, there. There was two there, right? So that's definitely where they had the Akui kids locked up.
Wait, so at the beginning you saw those little blocks of rocks?
Yes.
Those are like little blocks for the kids to play with.
There, right
there. It is, right there. The Legos almost.
And it's funny too. Go ahead.
No, so like, why would they be able to play? Why would the kids feel good enough to be able to do that? Someone gave them hope. I'm telling you that something was positive there. Someone was guarding them and still trying to let them be kids. Who was guarding them when they're in that jail?
Because that's what I'm saying, right? So we see one of the Akui kids. She looks in the cage. One of the Akui kids pops out, right? But we also see this thing stand up there, and I'm curious to know about that structure, if it means anything. I'm actually going to take a picture of it and see if I could find something, if there's any kind of structure that kind of looks like that.
It's going to be the tower.
Oh, the lighthouse?
Not the lighthouse, but the tower. The place where Boyd is in, I mean, wherever that is, that place, it's going to be like that.
Ooh, that's interesting. We're right. It's definitely not the the lighthouse. And Boyd is in a different spot than the lighthouse. For sure, 100%. Right?
Where the ruins are. All the ruins are, but it's very, very much similar stones as we were seeing right there.
Oh, is that you think that is the ruins?
Exactly. I think it's the ruins.
And that's where Julie gets
and she starts having the seizures and she disappears and all that stuff. Yeah. I think it's all connected.
Oh, that's interesting. That is fucking interesting.
It's a way for them to comment, to communicate with someone.
All right, because then we see that. So I'm gonna definitely take a picture of that to see if I could find anything on that. But I'm like, yeah, kind of could be the runes, right? And then hold on, my bad. It's like a bowling ball, of like a ball comes.
Yep, like they're playing and it knocks it over.
And knocks it over.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. So if
it's not the monsters, who knocked it over?
Because the monsters are sleeping, right? We see a bunch of them in there, and that goes to show me again that the monsters sleep during the day. All right, so they sleep during the day. I think we already knew that, right? So the man in yellow comes out in the day. So it's going to be a very interesting dynamic to see if maybe now that the man in yellow is there, the demons can come out in the day, or if, you know, the man in yellow can come out in the day and then the demons come out at night. I don't know.
I think the man in yellow can't come to the town.
You don't think it can reach the town?
Because Julie said something. Said, "Dad, let's go to the town. Let's run now. Let's get to the town." I think he's not allowed to go to the town.
Well, that would be interesting. If that's the case, then what do you think would be stopping him from going to the town? The boy in white?
It's maybe it's a rule that he can't go to town, but if they come into the woods, that's his domain now. And he can do whatever he wants. Keeps them like cattle. Keeps them in a pen for the monsters to eventually get to.
I could definitely see that being a rule. It makes a lot of sense because I've always said the fact that the man in yellow can just run around during the day, then that means that, there's nothing to stop
nothing
them.
Good for them.
Yeah, there's nothing good there to stop them. It's like, okay, so the man in yellow, like last season, basically, right? So here it is. There's where the Akui. Now, that Akui kid that came out, you think it's her daughter?
I have to see it again, but possibly.
Because they don't really show it that well, but it's definitely. Hold on, let me show this.
Pause. And slow it. Can't slow it, yeah.
Can I slow this shit down? I don't think I can slow this shit down. Yeah, no, I can't slow it down. But yeah, it because they don't really show its face, but I think it could be a girl. I think it could be a girl. Yeah,
it could because it heads down.
Right. And the way the hair is, kind of, you know what I mean? Which would make
like her. And then it had 4 notches on the wall, as in a family of 4.
I would definitely think that was her seeing her first, the child that was sacrificed, because when she does call the Kui kids, the girl comes up there first, right? Yep. So I think this is like, foreshadowing a lot of the stuff that we've seen already, which is very interesting. But I think this tunnel here is going to be very important going forward.
Why do you think that they were still trapped? Who continued to trap them, and then how did they get out?
So here's another thing too, right? And I'm just going back real quick because you're saying who trapped them, right? But when Martin sends the rope down to, or when Julie sends the rope down to Boyd, and Martin tells Boyd to hurry up, he says they are coming back.
Yep, he definitely did.
He said they are coming back. So I definitely not the man in yellow, right? So is it the creatures or is it something else? I think it's something else.
They always said there's more to it. They're more dangerous. That's what Boyd was told in episode 8 or episode 9 of the first season. Say, hey, no, you think this is bad? It's much worse. And that go ahead and coincides with what Ethan said again. That the closer you get to the end, the worse it gets.
Absolutely. Hey, you know what's funny? I was going through Netflix the other day, and I said, let me watch a few episodes of Lost. So I was just scheming through some episodes to see which ones I wanted to watch. And guess what the title of one of the episodes was called?
What?
The Beginning of the End.
The beginning of the that makes perfect sense.
I was like, oh, okay. So now I think you guys are messing with us by trying to tell us like this is nothing like Lost. I honestly believe they're messing with us. You know what I mean? Like, oh no, this is nothing like Lost. But they told us that we are watching the end of the beginning?
And the end of the beginning, and then this is now the next season will be the beginning of the end.
Right. And then I think after that, we're gonna get the end.
Yep,
You know what I mean?
The last season. I can see this be only 4 seasons instead of 5.
Yeah, I could too. I hope it's 5. I hope it's 5.
I would like 5, but I can see it only being 4.
Yeah, I could see it too. I could see it being 4 too. I could see this being the last season, but it better not be the last season, bro. that'll kill me. I want one more. I want 5. So I'm not listening to you. I want 5.
I hope you're right. I will love 5. I think 5 seasons would be fun for me, but I don't know if they're going to do it. How about this? Mm-hmm. One thing real quick. Victor.
Mm-hmm.
How long was he down there waiting?
Pretty long.
And then he's pretending to be afraid, right? And then the next second, he's able to move and run. Like, he'll come over, come with me. What if Victor? I'm telling you, Victor might have a type of communication with the monsters, and he is literally their proxy, and he's doing things that they're asking him to do.
Ooh, that would be interesting.
That he's setting everything up. Victor is setting all these things up because he's their proxy, the monster's proxy.
You know what? Because
how will you know how to get out? How will you know how to get out? How will you know any of these things? He comes down there just calm all the time, just walking down with the boy in white. He didn't know where he was. I don't know which way to go. But then all of a sudden he grabs her hand and takes her somewhere.
Yeah, he said he did say the boy in white did tell him how to get out, and then he lost it or something like that. But you're right. He was in there, and here, there he's acting like he's scared again, and I mean,
even so, that's when Tabitha saw the suitcase.
Yeah,
because Victor was nowhere to be found.
Interesting.
I'm just saying, man. Victor is getting more and more suspect the more I break down these episodes. Like, what are you doing, man?
You think Victor could be working with the creatures
just for survival? Maybe he spent more time with the monsters than he did with his own family.
That's possible.
If let's say Victor was 11 or 12 when everyone was gone, and no one showed up again till he was 30.
Mm-hmm. So why do you think they wouldn't have killed him?
Because he's their proxy. Like, you ever seen this is episode of Supernatural where there's a girl who's a familiar, so that will go get people for the vampires to eat. Victor might be someone who sets it up so that they get everything. Something bad happens. Victor's there, but Victor gets away. And then to make him feel better about something, he gets one person out.
Because I know Victor, and we've talked about this before, he was supposed to die in season 1, and they probably like, oh, this character is really good, and didn't kill him. So they would have to figure out something to do with him if they were actually going to kill him off.
And that's my point. So maybe he's seen as positive, but he's actually negative.
Ooh. And then you have his father there and everything now. Yeah, that would be interesting. Because it would make, you know what? To be honest with you, it would make sense, especially if this show ends like with Ethan coming out of it, Ethan end up turning bad.
It would make perfect sense. It would be exactly how the monsters will want it, and none of it will be possible. And can you imagine them saying, and none of this would be possible if we didn't have him. And you see, who's him? And we forget, and it's Victor. And he's walking in.
Very interesting.
The only one that made it possible was him.
Very interesting. Shit. If Victor has been playing it like that the whole time, that would be
a hell of a twist. That would be
that would be the okie doke of all times, bro.
And all of us would be sitting here looking like it was right in front of our face, and we didn't see it.
Because to be honest with you, I think someone is gonna someone's gonna turn bad. You know what I mean?
Well, Victor's been there the longest. They said it from the beginning. He was there when no people were there.
Yeah. Someone's gonna turn bad. I know we always thought it would have been Randall, but I'm beginning to think it's someone else now. It's gonna be someone else that we would never expect. You know what I mean? And the only person that I could see that being is Victor. That would be interesting.
That would be terrible, but yeah.
A lot of people wouldn't like it. A lot of people wouldn't like it. That's for damn sure.
It just makes too much sense.
I'd be okay with it. You know what I mean? I always like little twists like that and things that, are very interesting and like, oh, I never saw that coming. So if they did something like that, that would definitely be very, very interesting. What else did you get from this episode, Brian?
Tom.
Uh-huh.
Why did they kill Tom off? And I just was really questioning him overall. And then I started thinking about Martin again. And I was like, could it be that Tom didn't die like the way that we thought he died? Would he be someone? Because we see flashbacks of him, right? So as much as I say Father Kotri, the same thing with Tom. We see flashbacks of them. So I wonder if they're all connected in some way.
What if the reason why they take things from people is so that they can't come back as those visions, right? So think about it. We take your possessions, we take your soul. They didn't take anything from Tom. They didn't take anything from Father Kotri. They didn't take anything from Abby.
Those are really good points.
So maybe if they don't take
the spider takes over and takes over their soul. What if the spider does it?
Yes, exactly. Right? Because so it like a fail safe, right?
Exactly. We talked about the extra evil, right? There's something else out there that's evil. We just don't know what it is yet.
Yes. So if the creatures don't take any of your possessions, then the spider is able to make those ghosts that people can see because their souls are free roaming Fromville.
And if you don't think there's ghosts, we just saw that ball come out of nowhere and knock over those things. So there's something there. There's something that's able to do that.
Absolutely. 100%. Ooh, that's a good theory. I like that. I definitely like that. Jeez. What else you got?
No, I felt so sad for Jim. I really did. I mean, he was. If you saw there was a cavern down there, why wouldn't you tell everyone, look, just don't touch anything else. Let's get out. Let's go through the cavern the other way.
Yeah. That was my problem too. And because he's like, oh, there's something down here. So it's like, okay, so maybe she got out that way. Then now it's time for you guys to get out the house. Yeah. You know what I mean? Okay, she probably survived. Let's get out of here. But no, he stays in there. It's like, no. And that shows, I guess, his devotion to her.
But it's stupid because he tells Julie later, hey, there's a cavern down here. Mom probably got out. If you knew that, if you thought the same thing, why didn't you get everyone else out?
Yeah. 100%. I agree. Because even when they started to leave, like Randall's like, I'm getting out of here. The other guy started to go. Jim was like, no, I'm staying. Like, no, what for what? You know what I mean? Nothing more you can do here. So get out of there. So I guess that was one of the stupid decisions. But I think, and I'm gonna say it again, I think the reason why they did that is because he needed to tell Julie to be strong, right? And she hasn't really been strong throughout the series. Well, I mean, she hasn't really been strong, but I think we're really going to see that strength come in now that her father died, right? She's going to remember that when he almost died, she was like, Dad told me to be strong. So now I got to be strong for Mom because she's going to lose it, right? And her and Ethan, the two kids under the umbrella, are going to be the one to try and have to fix everything.
Man, yeah, Tabitha's going to be awful.
Oh, 100%. 100%. I don't see her doing what she's supposed to be doing. I think she's going to become very protective to where it's like, all I have left are my kids and I need to protect them. And Jade is going to be like, no, we need to do this. We need to do that, you know, or maybe Jade gets it too, right? Maybe Jade feels it too and feels guilty too. And both of them don't do what they're supposed to do. And the kids have to take over.
Randall. I think Randall is going to be the guy who saves the day.
Ooh, you got Randall saving the day.
I looked at this a couple times, and when the house fell on Tabitha, right, and Jim is or not, he sees he needs help. Who's the first people that volunteer to go to the house and help?
It's Randall.
It's Randall.
Yeah. Randall's one of the first people to say that he's gonna help right here. He's like, yeah, okay, I'll help. You know, and to be honest with you, we've said this before. Every time something pops up, Randall's there to help.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So as much as a dick he is, he's always there to help somebody. So I think you're right. I think he's going to be major going forward. You know, I thought he was going to die when that scene happened with the ambulance and everything in season 3. But the fact that he didn't die, but we also got to remember too, I think he has a resentment for Boyd. Unless we see them have a conversation to where he says, you know what? I understood why you did what you did. You know
I can see them not even have a conversation and Randall say, I understand. Boyd's like, he's gonna be like, hey, Randall, I just wanted to apologize for what happened. And Randall says, no, understand.
Yeah.
And that's it. He's just in a few words.
Yeah, 100%. You know, and if he does that, that'll be great too, because he'll know the situation. You know what I mean? So, and I think a lot of people will come around too. Like I said, sooner or later, they're gonna realize, you know, maybe Boyd was right in the things he was doing, you know, because everybody has personal things going on in this town. And I think we're gonna get to a point where people are gonna start being selfish and start thinking about themselves, you know, after what happened with fucking Fatima. So, which is gonna weaken the town.
Yep.
It's definitely gonna weaken the town.
I can't wait to see Bacta kind of redeem herself, because these people die because of Bacta.
Yeah, I know. I that's why when I was watching this, I was like, man, I forgot what kind of a bitch she was at the beginning. You know what I mean? And
we'll look to the other town and we'll get out. Like, look, there's no other town. What are you talking about?
But do you blame her though? How would you react? You'd be the same way.
I would have left the first time. I'm going back over this tree. I'm gonna go right past it. That's just me, you know.
Yeah. I would have took that bus and I'm like, listen, you know what? We're gonna drive through this tree and see what happens. We're gonna try and drive through this tree and see what happens. We got like what 14. And okay, so here's another thing that I noticed too, which I actually got a question for you for. So at one point when we talked about the 14 people that died in the colony house, then we said 14 people on the bus. I think there was more than 14 people on that bus.
There was, and they had to die.
They died. Yes.
They had to die.
Yes.
The older couple, I mean, anyone who was outside, they all had to die in order to make the number the right number.
So what do you think the significance of 14 being there? Because how many creatures did they say we're supposed to have? 14, no?
14. Mm-hmm.
And then 14 people on the bus that to represent the 14 people that died. What do you think?
That's interesting. One person, one couple for every person.
And it's funny too, because so you have the 14 people, which represent the 14 creatures, right? Then you have the reincarnation, and then you have the people who I think are just there because they're meet a purpose. So you think it's possible that the 14 people are connected with those creatures in some sort of way?
They might be, and they could be themselves in the future. We talk about past, present, and future a lot. I want someone to ask, what year is it for you guys?
Yeah.
No one's ever asked that. What year is it for you? And see if someone says 92, the other one says 2010, 2005, 2001. Ask where, but never when.
You know what? And it's funny because you assume everybody's from the same time, right? But it's possible they're not.
Exactly. Who said they never promised that everyone's gonna be from the same time? We just assumed they're all from the same time.
That's interesting. I never thought about that as well, but that's definitely interesting because if we have some time travel in this, who's to say that the town, like in Lost, doesn't move through time?
Exactly. Well, besides that, I mean, that was really the end of this episode. It on a cliffhanger, but Boyd, doing what he was doing, having the night come. I mean, it was a lot of stuff going on, but there was a really good, interesting end of the episode. I was glad that Kenny finally shot his gun off, that Donna finally did what she was supposed to do. And I was very disappointed that Boyd didn't kill Martin yet.
Why do you want him to kill Martin?
Because put him out of suffering.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but then he wouldn't have got the worms in him.
That's true.
There has to be something more to those worms. I don't think that's just the last of it. The worms in his blood, that can't be the last of it. There has to be something more than that. And I think Martin is probably going to be important going forward. I just don't know how. Like, what is he there for? Are they feeding off of him?
Or using his fears to create the place?
Maybe, right? What time does he come from? You know what I mean? Does he come from the future? Does he come from the past? Definitely not the present that they're in now, right? So I don't know. It's weird to me. It's weird to me. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to figure out if well, I definitely think there's going to be more to him. I'm just trying to figure out what it is. Like, what more do we have from Martin to where it's like,
do you see anyone who has a beard that could look like Martin?
I tried to, like, when I think about all the people that we've went through, especially in this season too, the only issue is that he's so skinny that it would be hard to figure out who it is. You know what I mean? And the fact that they put the beard on him too makes it even harder. Maybe if he didn't have the beard on him.
What if one person has a beard? So Jim has a beard, Jade has a beard.
But we also know that he's a Marine too, right?
So don't you think Randall was?
I think he was.
And what about Tom?
Oh yeah, it wasn't Tom. Tom was one too.
Yep.
Yeah, I think Tom's a little too.
He talked about how to. He said, "How do you learn how to make the beer?" That's what Tom said. I've learned how to do this before.
Yeah, I think Tom's a little too dark though.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
But I mean,
I don't need representation in that way.
But wait, hold on. Yeah, me neither. We don't want that, right? We already got Elgin. We don't need no more.
Exactly.
Have Tom chained up and they feeding off of him. Really?
Oh no, I couldn't do
it. Really? You guys really went there? Okay. Especially with it's funny because now that I think about it, let me go back to 1%. Now that I think about it, he's got to be there from the past, right? Look at the chain that he has on his arm. That should show something.
The dungeon is from the past.
Yeah, right. The dungeon is from the past. Doesn't necessarily mean
he could be from the future.
So he's saying another story walker that they caught?
It could be.
Interesting.
What if he's the narrator? What if I'm wrong about the man in yellow being the boy with all the stuff with the family, father? He said to me, Will I be pretty? Will I be whatever? Hey, Sarah. It's all him though. He's a bystander. It's all him.
He's definitely an important figure.
And he asked him to kill him, and he stares at him.
I just really hope that these are certain things that they don't just gloss over and we never hear about them again. You know what I mean? Because we got and I think now that I think about it, I 100% think it was a troll where he was like, oh, we're going to try and catch one of these creatures. And then they never did. You know what I mean? I think that was a troll because people on the internet, I think, were saying that stuff. So they put that in there as a troll. But this is something important. Like there's things that are important that we need answers to. We need to know about those spider webs 100%, and we need to see a giant spider, definitely. We also need to know that there's more to this Martin character than just that, right?
Yep.
Because
he's been around, he knows something. He knows stuff that's going on. So there's something to Martin. I don't know if he used to be something.
Definitely.
There's something to him overall.
And he's definitely going to have a conversation with Julie because he knows who she is. So I think that the Julie, when she goes back, because the one that got there, he said Julie had no idea who he was, right? Threw down the rope, whatever. And I think he told her that she has to go because they don't have enough time. So I think the next time she comes, or the next time she's
now we have time, so now we can talk.
It's gonna be enough time to talk, right? Yeah. So it's gonna be interesting.
Gonna blow her mind.
You think he's gonna give her a way to kill the man in yellow?
I think he's gonna give her a way to get out.
What if his blood was meant for the man in yellow? Right? And Boyd used it on the creatures. But what if Julie goes there and he gives it to Julie and tells her it's for the man in yellow?
I don't think he doesn't even tell her. She's only trying to kill one person and one person early. That's him.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, definitely. That would be interesting because I always said that maybe a way to kill the man in yellow was a weapon, but maybe that's the weapon. His blood. Maybe that's the weapon. That's what it is that we need to kill the man in yellow. And
makes the idea makes the body realize how old it really is.
Absolutely. Not to mention, it would actually mean something when we see Boyd use it, right? Because right now you got the blood, he kills it, then we never talk about it again. It has to come back around to be some significance. And if we think that everything in this show kind of gives you foreshadowing, a hint or foreshadowing of the future, then that had to be a foreshadowing of something else to where maybe it's his blood that's able to kill the creatures. But my question is now, how did his blood get like that? Were they doing experiments on him? Were they feeding on him? Right? So we got to understand that there's a lot more to Martin, and we got to find out. So
he was in his house, and they came and got him. He's been sitting there all this time.
I'm trying to get it. Yeah.
Is there anything that you saw that might be different? Like, there's no one I saw that might look like him.
No, I can't see it. So the guy who plays Martin is Robert Verlaku. He's Martin. Let's see what we got here. I can't really see the picture good. Okay, it's all good. That's interesting though, right? So if you look at this picture of him here, like you see it here up there, doesn't look like anybody I've seen in the show so far. Except maybe the man in yellow. What's the man in yellow's name? Who plays the man in yellow?
Oh, I just know him as the man in yellow.
I know he's done a few videos and stuff. Let me see who the actor is. What's his name? Who's the guy from? So instead of being an already established member of From's cast of characters, this Reddit theory argues that the man in yellow is a fictional figure known as Haster. The character of Haster was mentioned by fantasy. Okay, no, so that's something different. See if I can find his name. Douglas E. Hughes. And okay, so two different people. Huh. Interesting, but it's possible that they could have recast it, right? Because the voice for the man in yellow, when he says, Jim, you know, your wife shouldn't be digging that home, is not actually the guy that plays the man in yellow. So it's possible that they could have recast, and I don't see them doing that because Martin's in the same season as the man in yellow. So I don't see them doing that. Very interesting.
Could be his minion too. So like we might find that someone else is creating this town for a reason.
Yeah. Definitely. Oh. So she has a Jasper there. So I think we see we've seen Jasper 2 times in this episode. Jade's seen him and then Tabitha sees him, right? So
and they take him away.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you have anything else for this episode?
Nope. I think it was a really good recap episode because like the first 15 minutes are really real recap of season 1. So if someone doesn't want to start season 1, this is a perfect episode to start on because of the recap. So
yeah,
it's thorough, gives you a lot of stuff, and then tells you exactly what it is immediately.
Yeah, 100%. Like, and it's a long one too. It's like a 5-minute recap or something like that. Yep. And they just go through the whole series. So yeah, you're right. If you didn't really want to watch the first season, which I wouldn't know why you wouldn't want to,
because it's epic. It's epic, but this is one of those things, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, guys, I mean, that's all we got for you tonight. But we will be back next week with episode 2 in about 45 minutes. I will be doing the Daredevil watch party. Thank God there's only one episode tonight. So
I'm already getting messages about my football show that we're going to be doing tonight because free agency started yesterday and it is going to be epic. Everyone moved.
Man.
Justin Fields is no longer a Pittsburgh Steeler.
You see, I wasn't going to say that, but I don't want to. Yeah, I know. I've seen that.
It's okay. Aaron Rodgers is about to be your quarterback. You'll be okay.
I don't fucking want Aaron Rodgers. I don't want Aaron Rodgers. I want fucking young Justin Fields. You know what I mean?
He's about to be a superstar for the Jets. That's going to meet, and he gets to go play with his college roommate.
Like, why the fuck are we letting him go for fucking? Oh my God, I don't get it.
It's $5 million. It made no sense at all.
I don't get it. Why are you going for Aaron Rodgers? Aaron Rodgers is washed up. He's not going to get you anywhere. He's done. You know what I mean? At least you had a chance to build on a young quarterback. Bro, what are we doing?
Oh, I would rather have Kirk Cousins, but I'm going to talk about all this tonight because it's going to be a lot. All fan bases, I'm bringing them all in. It's not just when we focus on the Bears, because we will focus on the Bears, but we're going to talk about Washington. We're going to talk about what LA did. We're going to talk about what Minnesota did. And then we'll get to the Bears too.
Yeah, that's what we do over here, guys. So we do versatile, stuff. We do from streams, Severance streams, Silo streams, real life topics, all kinds of stuff. Because tomorrow night will be the OOC.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it's gonna be Trump again. I'm 100%.
Why not? I mean, come on, he's been a problem, man.
He's given us so much content to talk about these last couple of days. It's not even funny.
You guys put up electricity up 15%, so he put 50% on like steel or something like that. It was ridiculous.
Yeah. Like this Terra 4 is absolutely stupid. It's crazy. But if anybody wants to watch Daredevil with us, just make sure to check us out in about 45 minutes. There will be a link pinned to the chat so that you guys can actually watch it with us while we watch it on stream, and we will be there to check out that show and everything else we do. Thank you all for coming in. Much appreciated. Peace, love, and hair grease, and we will see you on the next one. Peace.
We've got some problems.
Oh, shit. How do you think they're gonna react when we tell them they can't leave? Look, I know this sounds crazy, but none of you are safe here.
Whoa, whoa, what the hell is she talking about? We are all in this thing together.
There are things around here that walk and talk just like us until they walk up to you and rip your guts out. There is no way out.
Oh, thank God we heard the screaming.
You picked a bad spot.
I'm seeing a lot of people pushed to their edge. You ever wonder if maybe that's the point?